Awesome. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to a very special live show with Richard Stoiner, or what we can tell him, the Pagla bhai of the under 19 cricket team of Bangladesh. Welcome to our live session.
Oh, thank you very much, brother. Thank you for inviting me on your show. I'm very proud, very honored to be live with you today. It's a beautiful day in Stoke-on-Trent in England. And it's even brighter today because we get to share some experiences and have some fun on the social media now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Richard. And to host you here, we have our best host of 10-minute school. So may I welcome Ashraful Haq Imu. Thank you, Imu, for managing
Richard bhai. Assalamualaikum, Ayman bhai.
I hope you can't beat Pagla bhai with your energy level, man. He is too good. And let me tell you guys something about Pagla bhai. Pagla bhai knows a lot about Bangla. A few days back, I was actually watching his show with Rafsan, and I could actually see him like cracking down all the quizzes that were actually thrown at him regarding the Bangla translations. He's too good. I think even if you talk in Bangla, it'll be perfectly all right. So, যারা লাইভ দেখছেন তাদের সবাইকে ওয়েলকাম। We have a very special show with Pagla bhai or Richard Stoiner, and আমি এর মধ্যে আর থাকবো না। ইমুর বেশ কিছু স্পেশাল এপিসোড আছে, বেশ কিছু স্পেশাল কুইজিং সেশনও আছে। So off to you, Imu. Pagla bhai, welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Richard bhai, for coming to this show. As you know, Robi 10-minute school has probably the biggest fan base of yours. And today we are going to have a lot of fun. So before going to anywhere, I'm not going to have the audacity to introduce you. But let me start with a small video clip that I guess going to put chills to everyone's eyes. So let me just put it on the screen. And Richard bhai, today we are going to have a very special ending. So before that, I would like to ask you one thing, and that would be, how do you envision that from you starting as a minor county to winning the World Cup, how has this journey been for the last 12 months or like the last a lot of days that we have thought about?
Firstly, hello. Thank you very much for having me on the show, and a big hello to all support, the fan base across Bangladesh. I love you all to bits. Thank you very much. Keep supporting #Team Pagla. The most important thing is for me is we started with a vision. We started with a platform. I believe from day one that dreams could become reality. You have to believe in dreams, and you have to start by making changes, both on the cricket field, both off the cricket field, in yourself, both physically and mentally. And over the months that went by, it was about building a relationship, building a trust, united together as one. The one thing you will say about our under 19 brothers and our team, our coaching staff, our management, is we were united as one, whether that would be the day of the final or 18 months prior in the BCB. And the beauty about it is that when you watch these boys, but actually these men, I call them men, I said to them on day one, I will take you on a roller coaster. I will take you over hurdles, and the finish line, the end result will be lifting the trophy. I said, but if you truly believe in change, I promise you the rewards will be at the end. And that's not just me. That was my philosophy. High energy, loads of passion, high intensity. And, the bottom line is that we brought the trophy home and spread so much joy and happiness that will live in our hearts forever.
That's great, Richard bhai. So before going towards the next question, I want to show everyone a video that's actually going to put goosebumps on everyone. So let me start that video, and that would be
have done it. Their first under-19 cricket World Cup title. They'll be dancing in the streets in Dhaka, Sylhet, Chittagong. Captain Fantastic Akbar Ali has seen it to the end. The Tigers have conquered the African plains. They are the world champions of under-19.
So Richard bhai,
Boom!
Richard bhai, I want to ask that one question to you, and that is, how was that moment when you realized that yes, Bangladesh is the under-19 champion of World Cup? How was that particular moment?
I said at the end of the game on the interview, and I said that, the win was for the boys. It was their moment. It was their time to shine. It was for the country, the hard work, the sacrifice, the dedication, the dreams, the visions, everything that we as a country, everything as we as a nation believed in something. And to see, I get goosebumps now just thinking about, thinking of that moment. And how it made me feel. And, for me, I love spreading the love, the awareness, the knowledge, the understanding, the coaching. But when you see things like that and you feel that you can't explain it, it's a very sort of euphoric moment. And from that moment, it was about the boys, it was about the players, it was about the local coaching staff, the Bangladesh Cricket Board, for the 175 million people that were screaming support when we came back home. It was phenomenal to see the smiles, the joy, and what it brings to them and what it meant to them. And also, like I said, and I said it on the night before we played the matches, that I believe that we were the best team in the world. And as it stands, we are the best team in the world, and nobody can ever take that away from us.
Absolutely. So, Richard, let me ask this question personally to you, which is, you came from London as a fitness coach, then as the strength and conditioning coach. How did this term, Pagla bhai, how were you actually recognized to everybody as the Pagla bhai of Bangladesh? But how did a guy from London actually got a very personal word that we always use when we want to call somebody who's very, very, very passionate? Is it about your passion? What is it about? How did you got the name Pagla bhai?
Well, it came from my two Pagla brothers, my senior Pagla brothers. Shanto bhai, Pagla number 1. Fazal Deacon bhai, Pagla number 2. Richard bhai, Pagla number 3. ठीक है से? I am baby Pagla. But I think for me, I mean, people have asked me over time, and I learned, I suppose I've learned this really from the under-19 England head coach when John Lewis said, you don't need to tell everybody what you're about. You don't need to sell yourself and whatever. He said, if people ask you one word to sum you up, now you don't need to tell everybody your qualifications, your certificates, what you need, just one word to sum up you as a person and your personality. And for me, the word was energy. I suppose I've never heard somebody say it in that philosophy before. And I was like, yeah, I agree with that. I embrace exercise. I embrace change. I embrace lifestyle cultures. But I'm also very blessed, I've been a part of cricket since I was 6 years old. Unfortunately, I never made it as a professional cricketer. But that doesn't mean that professional cricketers worldwide, ex-pros, current pros, know any different. For me, it's from the heart. I will do absolutely everything in my power to lead from the front. And if I can be a 12th man and a little voice in their ears, what would Richard say? What would Richard say? You know, like I say on the pitch, you know, Deacon Bhai, our fielding coach, he's very aggressive, he's very hard, he wears his heart on his sleeve. And between us, we were able to install that, you know, that fast agility, intensity, that mindset, that never give up, give 150%. And I think, you know, with the help of everybody, that's where it transpires onto the pitch and the belief. And that's where we use the philosophy of the three words, the energy, passion, focus. But one word to sum up Pagla by is energy.
So it's energy, passion, and focus. These are the three philosophy that I think you run about. It's all about, right? I have also heard. I was actually going through a bit of your. Podcasts. So from there I actually heard another three words, which is prevention, performance, and recovery. And I thought, and you said that these are the three words that you run your philosophy with. So can you please explain us your philosophy? What makes you a great coach and a great brother to all Bangladeshis?
I think the most important thing when working with anybody around the world, I believe, is about one word is trust. So I trust them, they trust me. That belief, wanting to change is very important. Very difficult to change in the subcontinent with training habits, food habits, but you know, our boys believed in me. And one of the main reasons they believed in me is I'm not your typical, you know, I don't like the word strength and conditioning coach. I don't like that label because within health and fitness, there is so much more. And I don't possess to think I know everything. I'm still learning. We're always learning. We want to be better. But the important thing is, if you have something that you're so passionate about, my teaching philosophy is to train with my boys. That means if my boys are running 5K, I'm leading, I'm in front. If I'm running 10K, I'm leading, I'm in front. If we're completing the yo-yo test or the bleep test, I'm joining in. If we're doing a gym session, I'm joining in. That way, they can look at my posture, they look at my technique, they can bounce off my energy. And that's why all the online sessions I'm doing now, I'm joining in with you. So when you just said prevention, performance, recovery, I was going to mention that. So the first three words when I arrived was energy, passion, focus. I then introduced in their daily habits and routines, prevention, performance, recovery. So your prevention, when you wake up in the morning, how much sleep that you've had, if you've been stretching in the morning, if you've had a good breakfast. Your performance can interlink with the prevention. So before you work out or at practice, you could do some pre-activation work, which is basically an additional to a warm-up, but I'm not going to go too sciencey. So then the performance is what you do at practice on a pitch, in the gym, at home, the way you act and conduct. And the most important one is the recovery. Recovery is essential if you want to be let's say, the complete elite athlete. And I said at the start, these boys were cricket players. And in 14 months, I was proud to say that they were true 90% of them elite athletes, you know, which I never envisioned from day one. And just remind me, I'm only one voice. It takes a team. There's no I in team. So our head coach, Naveed Navas, you know, very calm, very calculated, very methodical, knew his players, knew his batsmen, knew his bowlers, knew what would work, rotation. Into your bowling coach, Zaki Bhai, again, totally different personality. Sonny Bhai, the physio, me and him worked together. So with a language barrier or working together, he was able, especially in the early stages, he was able to explain the difference between aches and pains and stuff like that. And, you know, Deacon Bhai, fielding coach, Sajul, the manager, Kausar Bhai in the BCB, everybody has a role to play. It's not just me. I'm just that crazy Pagla Bhai from England that installs never give up, and give 150% in anything as possible.
That's great. That's actually a great advice. So আমাদের সাথে যারা দেখছে তারা হয়তো বা এখন জিজ্ঞেস করতে পারে যে আচ্ছা স্ট্রেংথ নিয়ে বা এরকম ফিজিক নিয়ে এরকম অনেকের কোয়েশ্চেন থাকতে পারে। জাস্ট সবাইকে জানিয়ে রাখার জন্য যে our very own পাগলা ভাই রিচার্ড ভাই has his own methods in Instagram and in YouTube. I'm sharing those social handles right now so that you all can follow him in his daily routines, how to do all of this. So these social handles are on the screen right now. His Instagram is Stonier, Stony, and YouTube, MNR Fitness. Richard Bhai, first of all, thank you very much for joining, because I think your strength, it's not only about the physical strength that we talk about, it's about the mental perseverance that we all think we need. So when we think that, or when we know that somebody outside the pitch is screaming or is feeling as much of the energy that I am feeling when I am in the field, it feels very, very, very conclusive. And I think that's very important when we can actually have a fitness coach who can not only make me physically strong, but also superbly mentally strong. So, Pagla Bhai, I think a lot of people has the same question, and that question came into my mind as well. That is, when you first came to Dhaka or into this academy to learn to teach these young lads who are now actually who have now conquered the whole country, the whole world, language barrier was always there. And for someone who is very fluent or whose native is English, you learning a lot of personal or very inaugural words of Bangla like Kamonato, Dorjo, and all those super words that have actually that gives us goosebumps every time we hear them from you. From where did you learn them, and is there any other sentence that we don't know that you know?
I mean, firstly, I think it's very important as a Westerner, arriving in somebody else's country, that I've always been a big believer wherever I've gone in the world. I speak a little bit of French, a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of Urdu. So, for me, it's even if I can only say hello, even if I can only say Dondabad, even if I can only say Shukriya, or different words like that, even if I can greet somebody by saying Assalamu alaikum, and to me, it's a mutual respect. And let me tell you, Bangla is very difficult. But I take somebody like in our team, Patu and Amon. Their English, when I first started, they could speak English, but not confident enough. Yeah, so confidence, and it's just like me. If I get it wrong, no problem. Shabashinai, do you guys say? So, but the only way to learn is by having a go. And I believe that hopefully over time I will learn. It's a shame, really, I've not been able to come back to Bangladesh in recent months. Else my Bangla will be even more. But I forget a lot, but I write stuff down, and then I practice. But I write it down in English how I would see it. Yeah. So if I like Matatanda, yeah, I would write Mata Tanda. Do you guys say? Yeah. If I was saying Akidabai, I'd be like Akidabai, and it's like little things like that. Just so and. It helps me. And listen, hopefully my working relationship, I've made some brothers for life. I made some friendships for life all around the world. I'm very blessed and honored that I've made an impact on so many people, and I will continue to do so. And hopefully my Bangla, my people say my favorite Bangla is always like, I remember the first one I learned was Matatanda, because I was shouting it to Amon, Mon bhai, Matatanda. And then when Tamim bats, because Tamim is a very talented boy, and he's going to be the next future star, like a lot of the boys in the national team. But Tamim could score 100 off 15 overs. If he batted for 50 overs, he'd score 300. You know, so I was like, Tamim bhai, lomba karo, tika se, lomba karo.
I was also talking to Tamim about coming to this show, but unfortunately Tamim is actually out of the internet reach, so couldn't reach you. But he sent his regards. So Richard bhai, there's one thing that I'm gonna do right now. That is, I'm going to teach you one word that is also very, very, very personal to us, and you're going to hear this a lot. I'm not sure if you know about this word, but have you ever heard about the word mama?
Mama?
Yes.
I've heard it, and I'm trying to think, right, the English word for mama. I have heard that. Hang on. Wait. I have heard this. Okay. What does it mean in English?
Mama is the person who's your mother's brother. Okay. But in our country, we call everybody that we try to have a personal connection, we call them mama. Like the person who pulls a rickshaw, he's a rickshaw puller. Normally, he's a rickshaw puller, but we call them mama. Mama, edige asho. There have been moments where, yes. See? So yes, I think, and I'm going to take credit for this, the fact that I would like to tell you that please, from next one or twice, scream this word mama when you are actually teaching someone in the field, or you are actually cheering outside from the pitch. Is that all right, Richard bhai?
Hey, listen, I remember now, because you just said using a rickshaw or a tuk-tuk. When I've been on rickshaws or tuk-tuks in Chittagong or Khulna, because Dhaka, too crazy in Dhaka for tuk-tuk, too crazy, like proper Pagla. But when I've been there, I remember Deacon Bhai saying it. I reckon Deacon Bhai kept saying to the rickshaw driver, "Mama, hey, mama."
Yes, that is the word I was talking about. It's amazing. It's so amazing to talk to you about this. So I think every Bangladeshi welcomes you with all the heart that they have. And I was reading an article, and you said that this last 12 months from your joining to till the February 9th, when we actually won the World Cup, these 12 months has been very excruciating for you, and probably the best 12 months of your life. So Richard bhai, I want to ask you a very personal question right now. Something that we actually do not know. It's not personal, it's per se something that we have or we could not experience. That is the moment we got the cup, the under-19 cricket World Cups, the cup, the memento. And we all went, and you all went inside the room. All right. So how was the expression or the joy when all of you were in the same room, the dressing room that I'm talking about? How was the environment of that dressing room? Or how did you feel that, yes, the mission is accomplished?
I think, like for me, I might, I was, I watched every run, I saw every wicket, every catch, every stop. And I suppose when we actually won it and we finished going around the pitch and thanking and greeting the fans and having a moment and interviews. And then actually, I think when we went into the dressing room, I was probably one of the last people into the dressing room. And obviously the boys were celebrating and there was selfies, there was this, because every Bangladeshi loves a selfie. And the coaching staff, there was tears. I a special mention, to Saluddin, the analyst. He had been with the under-19s. I forget the years now. I think 15 or 16th year working with the under-19s, and just looking at his face, he's a beautiful man and a man of very few words. Very good at his job and very good for the boys as well. The boys look up to him. But looking at his face and seeing the emotion and what it meant to him, it got me. I give him a hug. And I was trying to hold my emotions in. I was just like, bro, this is mint. And for me, I still say to this day, is that everybody now expects sort of all of these boys to go on and be superstars and score thousands of runs and take loads of wickets, loads of catches. Inshallah, one day over the coming years, not a problem. But I think I try to say to people, let's really enjoy it. Let's enjoy the moments. And I think for me in the dressing room was that moment with both me and Naveed, because us as foreign coaching staff that have sacrificed and given up so much, our family not being at home much, traveling on the road, sometimes spending days at home, then flying, hotels. It's not luxury what people think. It's not the lifestyle people think, but it's a sacrifice and a commitment for that moment. And to see the expression on Saluddin's face, Sonny Bhai's face, Deacon Bhai's face, Zaki Bhai's face, Kausa Bhai, Sajjal's, I won't forget that, as long as I should live. And that, special moments, beautiful moments that they should all be very proud of themselves. But yeah, the moments I saw Saluddin that got me a little bit.
I think that's a great story. Like, everyone who was connected to this team has felt the real chill when actually the whole country could rejoice on one thing, and that is finally we have actually won a World Cup. Your expressions, Akbar's expressions, there was Naveed Bhai, and everyone who was there on that field, and everybody who was there watching from inside their home on the television. The moment was so joyful that we could not express it to any other people. So Pagla Bhai, this is where we are very, very, very thoughtful to you that you joined us here today to actually tell us the story of that great day. So Richard Bhai, I want to ask you one thing, that is, you have always been very expressive towards and very emotional towards the crowd of Bangladesh. The people who we call as the Pagla cricket fans, you have actually taught us that there's no limit to this Paglaness that we know. So how would you describe the Bangladeshi crowd?
I think, for me, it's, I've been a part of various competitions and stuff. And, when we were in Potchefstroom, in the early stages, before they were even televised, there was fans traveling 5-6 hours to be there. There was people coming from everywhere. And, a lot of people had this perception, well, it's only under-19 cricket, it's only junior cricket. And I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. But if you look where let's face it, the current stars of all international cricket, pretty much all of them have originated from under-19 success. From Joe Root to Virat Kohli, from Ben Stokes, global superstars, and they had to start from somewhere. But the fans with Bangladesh, they were so passionate, so warm for. One thing I always say, every time I go to Bangladesh, I feel very hospitable, very grateful, from the drivers that collect me from the airport and from the hotel, to the tuk-tuk drivers, from the rickshaw drivers. a big special mention to all of the ground staff that worked tirelessly across Bangladesh during very difficult times. I salute them 100% because what them guys do for us to practice and play cricket is absolutely extraordinary. And I remember times where I've seen a monsoon come, flooded the ground, and I'm like, right, okay, pack the bag, let's go back to the hotel. 1 hour later, we're playing or we're practicing. And you're like, how is that happening? And that's why I wanted to, make a mention, because we've been to Kulna, to Chittagong, to Bogra. I always, where Tammy and Reed are from.
Yes.
And, and everybody all the time they love it. And the one thing I love about going to Bangladesh, I remember last year going to Cox's Bazar. I love Cox's Bazar. Cox's Bazar, good place.
Yes.
And I remember walking to go to a boat over a little tiny piece of wood, and I'm not scared of anything. And I was like, oh my God, really? It was about this big. And I was like, this is proper Bangladeshi way, proper. But when I looked to the right, I saw a very poor village with loads of young kids. But you know what? Every single one of them kids was smiling, they were laughing, they were joking. Why? Because they were playing cricket. And they were playing cricket on this tiny little strip. There was, rubbish surrounding them. You don't know the hygiene or the cleanliness, which is a big thing. But the smiles were like this. And, I walked past, one guy bowls a ball, gets him out, and they're all celebrating, and they're only about 2-3 years old. And it's memories like that, which I could say, when we won the World Cup, I can imagine the smiles on millions of people's faces. And I remember, one last thing, what I said when Rakibul, my little brother, good, lovely boy, like all of them. And there's a little moment when he took 5 wickets, and I was hugging him, and I was just saying to him, you've done that. This is your moment. Enjoy this moment. The 18 months of hard work, the sacrifice, the hard training, countless gym sessions, bowling sessions. For that moment, this is your moment, and enjoy it. And I remember, and still like that, I won't forget, and I'm very grateful and blessed that I've been, one, part of it, two, helping make a change. But this is still the start. There's a lot of work still to be done, brother. A lot of work still to be done.
Absolutely. I think thank you very much for picking this part out where you actually get to see the actual craziness of Bangladeshi people. But just let me tell you, and as you are going to, I really hope that you are going to be with us for a long, long time. So just the only game that actually makes us forget about everything else is cricket. There will always be divided by Bangladesh versus all other team. We would always do this. We will always go to the length to do anything. And I think when people like you, and when actually those learned people like you actually appreciate this small little craziness that we have, we feel very delighted. So thanks to you, Richard Bhai, for joining us today again. So before, we are actually at a very interesting part right now. This segment is called Cricket in Richard Bhai's World. Means I am going to ask you 4 questions. Very easy. You just need to think about the answers and you have to answer them. Before that, let me address my people who are actually watching this. So guys, এখন আমাদের সাথে প্রায় 700 মানুষ আছে যারা এই লাইভটা চুরমার ভাবে দেখছে। কমেন্ট সেকশন ভরে যাচ্ছে। সো এই সেগমেন্টটাতে আমরা জানতে পারবো যে রিচার্ড ভাইয়ের দুনিয়াতে ক্রিকেট সম্পর্কে কি কি ধারণা আছে এবং রিচার্ড ভাই ক্রিকেট সম্পর্কে কোথায় কি কি ভাবে। সো তোমার সেই ক্রিকেট ফ্যান বন্ধুদেরকে বা তোমার সেই ক্রিকেট পাগলা বন্ধুদেরকে এখনই শেয়ার করে জানিয়ে দাও অথবা এখনই কমেন্ট সেকশনে মেনশন করো যেন সবাই এই লাইভটা দেখতে পারে এবং সাথে সাথেই বুঝতে পারে যে হ্যাঁ এখনো পর্যন্ত বাংলাদেশের ক্রিকেট আরো অনেক 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 দূর এগিয়ে যাওয়া বাকি। সো উইথ দিস আমি এখন স্টার্ট করব cricket in Pagla Bhai's world. So the first question for Richard Bhai is on the screen. Richard Bhai, one rule that you would change in cricket if you get the chance.
One rule that I'd change in cricket.
Yes.
Oh, my life. That could be anything, bro. Oh my God. One rule. Oh my God. Oh my God. One rule. They should let the trainer be the 12th man.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again?
I said they should allow the trainer to be the 12th man.
Oh wow, that's great. Oh, I think that if anyone from the ICC is watching this, please listen to this so that we can actually have Richard Stoiner with the under-19 team as the 12th player. I think we are going to go to length if it's possible. Richard Bhai, let me ask you, do you miss playing cricket because I think you have played for Whitmore as a batsman. So from that, now that you are a coach, probably it's more from the outside, the playing field and strategy making and preparing the player. Do you miss being a player by yourself?
Every single day. You know, daft as it is, my body now is fitter than when I played. You know, I've learned a lot of stuff, but I went through a very difficult time 8 years ago when I lost my mum. And the trauma that had the effect on me made me realize that there was more to life than sport. My mum was a very inspirational lady and she always led from the front. So what I do is I believe I continue and keep my mum's legacy alive by letting go of stuff. I wasn't able to play the way I used to play because I mentally, I didn't care like I used to. But you learn that you can have such impact from a different philosophy. And that's why when I'm in the nets with the boys, I will still bowl, throw, catch. I will do everything. If we're doing a practice match, I will field. I miss everything but I also learned that I think I had a different path. You know, I lived and breathed cricket like a lot of people live and breathe it. But as you get older, you know, I'm 36 now. I'm fitter now than I was, Bengali age, 26. As I went through like a personal trauma, I just, you know, mentally it was very challenging for me and it was very tough for me. And you learn, and I say this a lot to people now, I do a lot of psychological stuff where I try to get people, the greatest two forms of medicine. Number one is exercise, and number two is talking. And, you know, sometimes, you know, we all have problems. During these difficult times now, I keep saying to everybody, embrace panic with patience, and we will triumphant through all this, and we all will be reunited. But the famous line, which goes around the world, is, it's okay not to be okay. But I realized that, my time as playing was up.
I think that's a great lesson that, yes, actually it is. Sometimes it's okay not to be okay. So thank you so much for sharing this personal story with us, Richard Bhai. I think it's time for us to move to the next question. The next question is a bit trickier. So I hope you're going to answer it with proper line, which is, if someday you work with the national team, what's the first thing that you will do? Immediate first.
Oh my God. If that day ever happened, the probably one of the first things I would like to do is, I suppose, really is start to build a relationship from day one. You know, build that rapport, build that trust. Whether that's a group engagement, whether that's fun, whether that's energetic, whether that's just talking, and basically be honest about me. Because I think if I'm honest about myself and honest about me, then hopefully in time, you know, different players will buy into that. But the most important thing is, you as a coach or mentor or trainer, whatever, you have to try to manage the best you can every single person, because they have a different character, different personality, different trait. Some people are scared. Some people are very upfront. Some people are scared of change. So you've got to work with that. So it's understanding. So I suppose from day one, I would probably just stand up and do what I'm doing now and talk to them all and say, listen, guys, I'm here for you. I will do everything for you. Work with each other. I'm very big on respect. We get called or branded a coach or just a trainer, yeah. But I don't care if you've got 160 caps for your country, or I don't care if you are a global superstar and you're a multi-millionaire. I don't really care. That's your life. Brilliant. Congratulations. And if we can build a relationship and trust, Shobish and I, no problem. But if there's no respect there, then it'll never work, and you'll just do that all the time.
That's great. That's a great lesson, actually. Like, it doesn't matter whoever we are and wherever we have reached to our personal level. As a team, you always have to respect people and build the trust that we all have dignified to it. Is that all right, Richard bhai?
Listen, the one thing I'm very big into. Listen, I don't know it all. I don't get everything right. You know, we're human beings. We all make mistakes. Yeah, we learn from mistakes, and we will keep making mistakes. But one thing in this world that does not cost a single penny, a single euro, a single dollar, a single taka is manners. Manners do not cost you anything. Manners. And that's one of the things I kept saying. And that comes from your upbringing. That comes from your not. Listen, I come from a working class town in Stoke-on-Trent, right? We were mining, pottery, whatever else. But if somebody gets out, comes into the lift, you step to the side, let them come in. You greet people with hello, good morning, how are you, thank you, please. Always use your manners, regardless who they are, you know. And I believe, you know, one of the greatest things, because I think in this world there needs to be more people. And again, I don't always do it, but I try my best every day to do one good deed every single day. And I think if a lot of us did that, I think the world would be a better place.
That's great, Richard bhai. So thank you very much for all these micro lessons that I think we all should learn from you. And thank you very much. With this, we are going to go to our next question. It's just either this or this, that question. But I would want you to think an answer to this question. And the answer is on your screen. That is the age-old question.
Oh. Now, I was an opening batsman. Well, I class myself as an opening batsman. So I would automatically, I would look at Laura, even though he was left-handed and I was right-handed, and go, wow, amazing. But you cannot you cannot get away from Sachin Tendulkar. Like, the guy is just, it's a tough question, it's a tough question because to me, I idolize Laura for many reasons because he was different, unique. I thought he was phenomenal, an amazing talent, and just made batting look easy. But for me, as a kid growing up, the likes of Sachin Tendulkar and a little boy turning into this absolute legend, superstar, lovely human being. And also as well, the stuff that he does for people around the world is phenomenal. So for me, I would have to pick Sachin.
Oh, so your answer is Sachin Tendulkar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have a reference because as a football fan, I am a terrific football fan. So from that perspective, I have always heard people quarreling about these questions. So from next, if anybody asks me this question, I'm going to put your reference that Pagla bhai told that Sachin is his favorite. I hope that's okay with you. All right.
No problem.
Thank you, sir. So with this, we are gonna go to our last question, and it's going to be a biggie. So I would want you to think about it and answer it throughout the time. So the last question of the segment is on the screen. That is your under 19 Dream 11.
Is this players from the current Bangladesh squad or players from all around the world?
Players from all around the world. What's your Dream 11? And just to clarify, you cannot say it's the full Bangladeshi team. You have to pick the best 11 or your Dream 11.
Brother, that could cause some serious. Do you know? I tell you what. Do you know what? The easiest way to answer that would be to pick every player that's either in the England squad, Australia, New Zealand, West Indies, Canada, UAE, but stay away from Pakistan and India.
Well, I don't know. That's on you. So you're gonna ask this question. I'm just here to actually know that what's your Dream 11, because every coach aspires to have that 11 players or 16 players with them to actually work on them, the dream team that they think about. So I'm asking.
I think the easiest way to answer this, and this is not getting around the question, is Bangladesh for me was a journey, was a pattern. All of the other players, we've only ever shook hands, met in the gym, said hello, said good morning, seen at breakfast. So I don't know anybody else. And as far as I'm concerned, my only drive and passion was to make a difference across 35 to 50 rising stars of Bangladesh and the future stars of Bangladesh. Now, they might not have been in the World Cup squad, but they played a role. And I think it'd be listen, I don't work like that. And it's not answering the question. It's just, I don't know the players. I could only go off what I've ever seen. And to me, what you've got to remember is we are the world champions. We are number one. So really, Dream 11 is the 11 technically players out of 50 odd boys who are the future stars of Bangladesh cricket. You can say Shabashana.
I think this is going to be the most politically correct answer that I have ever heard. You answered everything. You just didn't answer the question. So I'm going to take that as a yes. See, at this point, I'm just awestruck because I was thinking that you would pick one or two from each of the team to make it a balanced team. But I think that's great. So Richard bhai, thank you very much for this session. With this, we are actually ending our segment called Cricket in Pagla bhai's World. We're actually end of the session. So before ending it, I'm going to ask you to do one thing. And before that, আমার সাথে যারা এই লাইভটা দেখছে তোমরা এতক্ষণে জানতে পারলে যে পাগলা ভাইয়ের কাছে কে সেরা। ব্রায়ান লারা নাকি সচিন টেন্ডুলকার? তারপর পাগলা ভাইকে যদি ক্রিকেটে একটা জিনিস চেঞ্জ করতে হয় কোনটা চেঞ্জ করতে হতো? অ্যান্ড পাগলা ভাইয়ের সেই ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক অ্যান্সার যে আন্ডার-19 এর ড্রিম 11 কারা হবে। সো এখনই শেয়ার করো, তোমার বন্ধুদেরকে জানিয়ে দাও, তোমার ক্রিকেট পাগল ফ্যানদেরকে জানিয়ে দাও। এমন যারা আছে যারা এখানে পাগলা ভাইকে কোনো কোয়েশ্চেন করতে চায় তারা এখনই কমেন্ট সেকশনে জানিয়ে দাও এবং শেয়ার করে ফেলো সো দ্যাট তোমার সব বন্ধুরা মিলে দেখতে পারে যে অ্যাকচুয়ালি পাগলা ভাই কি বলছে। সো পাগলা ভাই, before ending this superbly awesome life, and thank you very much, I want to ask you one last thing, that is, what is your thought about the future of Bangladesh, this under-19 squad?
I think like every country has its own. I think it's only it's okay. One moment. I think every country has its own philosophy, its own dreams. I believe we've got the next future stars of Bangladesh. I believe that we've got a bright future. We need to invest in them, and we need to invest in facilities, in equipment, and surroundings. I reckon there's more future stars in Bangladesh, and I would love to, find even more and more and more. We are a nation on the rise. We are a team to be feared. We play fearless and selfless cricket. We play aggressive cricket. We play hard. And also, players are now believing that they can beat anybody. And that's what I said the day of the final. And that's the first time when we played India. India are a phenomenal country, nation leading from the front. Brilliant. But that day, that final, but from ball one, when Saqib threw the ball back, that was our day. And, people like...
I cannot hear you. Oh, it's fine now.
Yeah. Just basically saying that, the future is very bright and I'm very excited for the future. Be Dojo, be patient, brother. I'm going to have to go soon because my batteries are running low. Take a say.
So thank you so much. With this, we are actually putting an end to this live session. Thank you so much, Richard bhai, for coming to this show and being with us. And thanks to everybody jara amader sathe live ta dekhchilo. So before ending this, Richard bhai, I know that you can sing Amra Korbo Joy in Bangla. So with you singing Amra Korbo Joy in Bangla, I'm going to end this live and we are going to go to our home. Be a happy kid.
Okay.
Ready? Yes, absolutely.
Amra Korbo Joy! Amra Korbo Joy! Amra Korbo Joy!
Thank you so much, Pagla bhai. Thank you very, very much for coming to this show. So from Robi 10 Minute School, students, from everyone who's watching this, Assalamu alaikum, Richard bhai.
Have a great day. See you soon, guys. Thank you.